No dogs you're really high on this week, huh?
Maybe a couple. There's a few spots, but like a spot I would have been high on this weekend would have been the Eagles, and their whole team
Yeah,
just
forget
got
that.
deactivated. Like there's still some COVID news. This is one of those cases where, there were let's rush people back to be competitive for this week for COVID stuff. This week 18, if you're dead to rights, if you're out of the playoffs,
Yeah.
if it probably benefits your team to lose the game with draft positioning, why would you rush anyone back from the COVID list?
I don't know why.
And right off the bat, we have a
Honor
conspiracy
system.
theory. Stefanski trying to prove Baker's not the guy and getting reps for Dearness. Do you remember when you had the Matt Nagy conspiracy theory about Trubisky?
Yeah.
I kind of was buying into it by the end of the year. Like
I
you
thought
had me
that was
incepted.
I don't think that was a reach at all, really.
No.
I mean, the Baker Mayfield experience is super awful tonight. I mean, we can talk about this game or we can talk about the playoff picture. What's your pref?
Well, let's touch on the game a little, and we'll make the chat pick a play. But yeah, Baker Mayfield's stat line is bad. Like it's bad. It's a very bad stat line. But I would argue that Roethlisberger's is funnier. For a half of football,
Oh yeah.
saw his running back
Baker's
get 71
is just,
yards.
Yeah, Baker's
Yeah,
is
Baker's
just,
is sad. Ben's is funny.
sad.
20
Ben's
for
is funny.
34 pass attempts.
For 96
yards. That's 2.8 is not good.
God.
2.8 yards is
YOLO
not good
on attempts. He doesn't have 100 yards.
No, that's not good for a running back. 2.8 a carry. Like I'd be mad at that running back when your quarterback does that. This is and really a lot of it comes down to how many passes has he made to like a wide receiver screen where that guy is like tackled at the line of scrimmage? Like,
I wasn't counting, but it has to be
There's
at least
6 of those.
It has to be at least 5, yeah.
And then this is
Matt Canada can take that play out of the playbook. Oh yeah, somebody in the chat was saying PointsBet had that up at -125. I mean, of all the things you're going to recency bias react to this week, this one's the easiest, but by far, because he was already leading all of the statistical categories for counting stats for sacks and pass rush. So now that he's doing this in particular, against a decent offensive line, he's pretty much sewing up the award right now. I don't think anyone can realistically make a case over TJ Watt after what we've seen through one half of football.
No,
what do you think? Realistically, yeah.
Like I wouldn't go nuts on it, but
it's going to be like -300, -400 tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
on that one.
Heinz 57 tribute. We were talking a little off the air too. I was a little worried when it was like they went down. He threw for the touchdown, and he's thrown like two pretty. They weren't decent deep. They were decent deep balls. I'll just say it. They were good enough. He threw those balls well. They just didn't connect. The referee kind of got in the way. I was a little worried that if he hit one of those and he had like 2 touchdowns at half, he was going to talk himself into another season. Like he's sitting there, Ben, buddy,
you still got it.
You still
got it.
You're ready. You're ready for one more year. Let's get one more trophy. And oh my God, it's
are the Browns going to score a point in the second half, Andy?
If they put Keenum in, Baker is not only like he's having a bad time, but boy, howdy, he's got like happy feet. The offensive line looks disinterested in blocking Watt and others. And I mean, he's constantly under pressure. He's not making good reads. And on top of that, even when he's throwing, like his receivers are dropping everything. Hooper's shit and everyone's shit. Peoples-Jones, thank God for Peoples-Jones.
Did you hear the snippet during the broadcast that Baker set the new low for consecutive incomplete passes by a quarterback this season?
I had the Manning cast on, kind of quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Was it on the regular broadcast?
Yeah,
I was listening to Goodell. Yeah. Goodell was.
What was that? What were your takeaways from that interview?
It was a weird vibe. It was goofy. They kept calling him coach too because they just had Cower on. Cower was actually delightful. Cower was better on the Manning cast than he has been on like any of the pregame show shit he did. But yeah, and this is true. Yeah, like not excusing Baker, but a lot of drops too. Yeah, like nothing is going right for this team. Weird. I do want to talk about the market. Weird market. The first team made sense. Like, all right, the Bengals or the Browns have nothing to play for. Like, the Steelers are still a pretty mediocre team, but the Browns have proved to probably be mediocre too and have no motivation whatsoever. But then the buyback was odd. I didn't quite understand why it was so hard and heavy at 3 right before game time, which the late steam has not done well this year. It seems like in some of these cases.
It's been a mixed bag.
Yeah.
In general. I mean, anything in between 3 and +3, -3, either side, you can have it. This game, huge question marks about motivation, as you mentioned. Do you believe in Big Ben doing something with his time and his opportunity, or did you think he was going to go 57 pass attempts and barely crack 200 yards? I don't know. This is a mess, man. The Steelers have run 49 plays already. Have just 162 yards of offense to show.
I kind of just want to take the Steelers +3.
All right.
What's wrong with it? The way that loses?
Yeah,
is Case Keenum comes in and looks good.
In general, the Steelers have not done well protecting leads like this season. They have let teams back into it.
Defense seems to be playing up a little though.
Yeah.
The other way this loses is they just decide to run. Like the Chunt. But Chubb looked good in some limited usage. I don't know. Maybe I've talked myself out of it. How do you feel about this total?
It feels right.
Yeah. I can't make a case for like multiple Browns scores, though. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people did end up with some Browns long teaser legs.
I hope they get inside that, I guess. I don't know.
How about we go with this dirty fuckers play?
All right, let's do it. Steelers to score more than a touchdown. Because I mean, if Ben has shown us anything, he is not pulling. He's not going to throw in the towel at this point. He's going to throw it until he's done throwing.
99 times out of 100, this guy feeds.
Is he trying to reach? Is he trying to reach some kind of a milestone or something?
No, I don't think so. Like
Roethlisberger? No.
No, I don't think we had much in this game as far as performance incentives or anything else either. So
yeah.
I didn't click the right one.
I'm okay with this over 7.5 for
there we
Steelers.
Go. Different one.
I mean, if they, this is a fucking mess of a game. It's a really bad product, by the way.
Yeah,
usually the last week of the season, or at the end of the season, when we start getting these games that don't mean much, it's a tough watch. But this season's been especially tough hang. Last night's Packers-Vikings game and this one back-to-back. Oh, buddy. Godell out there trying to carry water for his product on the Manicast.
And to be fair, Steven Lackman here is hitting on the true play. Sometimes money is better left in the pocket.
Actually, you want my best bet? Go to PointsBet and bet the defensive player of the year, TJ Watt, -125.
-125.
Yeah,
I expect that to be -200 by the time this halftime ends. Thanks to you
that
guys.
Sounds correct to me.
Please steam that up. You guys deserve it. And yes,
how'd your Bulls do? How's your baby Bulls?
It's still in flux. It looks like they're up 4 with about 7 minutes to go.
Ooh,
I have a small live bet on them -6.5.
I have some Nuggets tonight, and the Nuggets put up one of the more pathetic first halves offensively we've seen in quite some time. But they are closing the gap with Aaron Gordon leading the way offensively. They did. They didn't quite get shut out, but they did have a stretch where they had 9 consecutive not scoring opportunities. Let's talk about playoffs. You ready?
Playoffs.
Hopefully this terrible end of the second half of the NFL season is just completely forgotten by an amazing playoffs. Does that seem plausible?
I think we can. There's so much parity. I think we will have some good games. But going back to the Manning cast, it did make me want to, like, they would never do it. But I kind of wanted them to ask, like, hey, Roger, how do you feel about week 18 having like no games that matter? Like it's a few that are fighting for seeding, and then basically the Chargers game. Like it's pretty rough.
Yeah, Yeah, Najee's carries prop is looking good. The Jamar Chase offensive rookie of the year price is throw my hands up. I mean, you're gonna react that much to one game. I don't know what to tell you.
The closer to the end of the season, though, the more they react. And to be fair, it is still a prop market.
Andy,
it is not efficient.
Andy, answer me this. Oh, I know. And somebody made a point. We were talking about TJ Watt, defense player of the year. I'm not sitting here saying he's been the most impactful defensive player and he's the best player on defense and you got to give him the award because of that. I'm telling you that the voters are going to vote for him after discounting stats he's accumulated and what he's doing tonight.
If he gets a sack, he'll be over 20 with the next one.
It'll be over. And Aaron Donald is a more important defensive player. 100% agree. Aaron Donald getting triple, quadruple teamed at times in games, take him out of games because he's that disruptive, and the rest of the defense has that little firepower. That's absolutely true. They're not going to give it to Donald because the counting stats for Watt are too good this year. And honestly, the fact that everybody's going to remember that Jamar Chase beat up on the Chiefs. Oh, by the way, remember like early in the season when the Chiefs were the worst defense of all time and nobody could do anything, but they couldn't stop a sneeze. Now they go through this whole stretch where they played no quarterbacks and they're like, oh, Chiefs are back. Defense is back. Then they run into Joe Burrow and he fucking shreds them. Answer me this, Andy, about the offensive rookie of the year. Aside from the voting, aside from the market, I give up. The momentum is what it is. The ship has sailed. If you replace Jamar Chase with just a generic wide receiver from this top half of the draft, round 1, round 2, generic wide receiver, put him on the Bengals. Do the Bengals still win the AFC North? And then in that same sentence, if you take a generic quarterback, any of the guys of the top 6 that were picked and put them on the Pats this year, are the Pats even close to sniffing a playoff spot?
You guys threw a lot of hypotheticals at me there.
No, you know what I mean. Like I'm saying, like replace him with an average guy from that.
I think
draft.
You're digging a hole there. I think you're on the wrong side of history there. Yeah, I think you could take a lot of quarterbacks and do what they did with that, but I think Jamar Chase is pretty special. Like he's very good. You don't throw some random and he breaks the rookie receiving record. And to be fair, it wasn't even in the bonus game yet. They've only played the 15 games. Like Justin Jefferson was amazing last year, and he's broken his records. Put him on an offense
with 2 other dynamic wide receivers and Joe Burrow, and he was going to break the rookie record. Same with Devontae Smith. Same with Waddle. Like any of these guys that were kind of bona fide wide receiver ones, you replace them. You put them in that offense with Burrow, and they were gonna explode. And I think it's pretty wild. You put Zach Wilson on the Patriots. You're telling me Patriots are in the chase for a playoff spot? No fucking chance.
I think he could probably put any of the 5 quarterbacks on the Patriots. Drew, Mac hasn't done anything,
dude.
He's winning games.
He is performing at a level statistically among rookies through 500 plays that is a bona fide good statistical performance. Like he is you've seen the plots. You've seen the Ben Baldwin plot today. Go on.
Yeah,
did you see the Ben Baldwin plot today?
Yeah, he's fine. Like he's fine. I think with good coaching,
Trevor
Lawrence had a higher ceiling than him if he gets drafted by New England.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he's not anything special.
So you think the system of the Patriots, the amazing wide receiver talent,
and the defense. There's been a lot of games they won without
the
a lot of
defense
points.
isn't informing his completion percentage over expectation, his EPA per play that he's adding.
But you also were referencing how well they did with wins.
I'm saying,
are they going that many games?
Are they even in the mix for a playoff spot? I think you put
I think
you put Davis Mills, Justin Fields,
Davis
Zach
Mills
Wilson.
wins that division.
No, stop this insanity.
He's more mobile.
You're literally just trying to push my buttons.
I'm not. I think
you put any other quarterback.
You
put any other quarterback.
This is like when you said there were too few notes in the Packers. And the chat just savaged you. Everyone's against you here. And I will say to Jamar Chase's credit, which I hate to do because again, I wish him. Essentially, at this point, we need him to commit a felony this week. We need him to rob a bank for him to not win this, I think. Although the voters have done stranger things, and voters are not the betting market. But I will say, I I really, really think the fact that he has that many counting stats with Higgins and Uzma and the rest, and like the fact that there's like 3 other good receivers on that team, and he's still getting that kind of counting stats is pretty something. I don't know. This is probably a bridge too far. Kellen Mond, the way that Zimmer just dogged on him in the press conference kind of makes me feel like Kellen Mond might not be good.
I don't know. My official opinion is any other quarterback you put on this Patriots team this year and ask them to start 17 games, Patriots are finishing with 5 wins on average. Any other wide receiver at the top of this class you put on the Bengals are still winning the AFC North because Joe Burrow's level of play this season has been the distinguishing characteristic of that team, not what Jamar Chase has added to the mix for them.
I know a lot of his yardage is after the catch. Like he's very good with the ball in his hands.
He's very fast. I completely agree. So is Waddle.
I mean, I want to see
Smith.
him lose.
These guys are fast guys.
This is ludicrous.
No, I don't know. I think if you swap Joe Burrow and Tua, I think Waddle is probably putting up the record-breaking statistics.
Well, I think Waddle's just as good. I think Waddle just needs a better quarterback. Like
I'm just telling you. You said I'm just telling you that if you're gonna dole out the surprise success this year, the Bengals go to the playoffs. Surprise success this year, the Patriots go to the playoffs. If you're doling out the pie credits, Jamar Chase gets maybe a 10% sliver for the Bengals. Mac Jones gets a 25% sliver for the Pats.
Yeah, it's just the problem is like Judon and all the big plays from the Patriots defense, and the fact that you got Belichick. Like people are giving Belichick more credit than any player. I'm prepared
to give Mac Jones 25% of the pie for the Patriots' success. I'm prepared to give Belichick's
giving him like 4
game preparation 25 to 30% of the pie. I'm prepared to give the defensive talent and scheme outside of Belichick's impact, like 50% of the pie, and then the rest goes to the offensive line and running game for the Pats.
At least the Browns went 3 and out.
We didn't bet on them, did we?
No, like it's good. No. A good thing happened.
Yeah. I mean, TJ Watt will probably get 7 points himself, so we just need Ben to score once, right?
And this is a popular opinion between Gav and Drew right now. I'm not just pushing his buttons. I generally agree that like Chase putting up those kind of numbers, no receiver is ever going to put up those kind of numbers without a decent quarterback. You can't throw the ball to yourself.
Yeah.
You
can't throw the ball to yourself, which is I will always have a tough time coming around on anyone other than a quarterback for getting these kind of accolades.
That's what's tough about this, because like a lot of it does come from his quarterback taking a big step forward. I bet the Bengals under 2.5 wins this year.
Yeah, I didn't think that was crazy.
I didn't have faith in him coming back from his injury and looking this good. He's looked better. He has so much poise. We can't say enough nice things about Joe Burrow. If they had a decent head coach and a couple more linemen, they beat the Chiefs like three times out of 5 instead of, I think it was maybe not fluky, but like they're competing with the Chiefs because this offense is fun. Like they need a slightly better play caller. And they need a couple more people to protect him. They have good running backs, 3 good receivers, and honestly, I think the Chiefs have just kind of taken a step back.
Yeah, I mean they were due.
Well, it's just weird the sequencing that the Chiefs have right now. I think they're the best team in the AFC, and I don't trust them in the playoffs at all. Like if the Chiefs were to lose the first game they. Can they get the bye? They can't really get the bye without the Titans.
They need Titans to lose to Texans, yeah.
Yeah, the Titans would have to do something horrific.
There's about a 90% chance the Titans get the one.
Yeah. So the Chiefs. Oh, let's talk this quick. The Chiefs are probably locked into the 2 seed. That's a high likelihood as well if they get to their 12th win here.
Yeah.
Which they should. So the decent likelihood of the what was the tiebreaker again? It ends up being the Chargers.
Okay, so here I'll flesh out your playoff seeding. You just tell me who wins these. You tell me who wins a couple of these matchups, and I'll tell you who your playoff seeding is. You ready? The Colts beat the Jags. Yes.
Yes.
Titans beat the Texans. Yes.
Yes.
Chiefs beat the Broncos.
Yes.
Bengals beat the Browns.
this version of the Browns seems beatable.
Plausible.
Yes.
Okay. Bills win over the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to
Do
give
the
them that one.
Patriots?
And they actually have to try. Like they should be
they
trying.
do. Patriots beat the Dolphins.
Patriots should. Oh man, let's flip that. Let's say Dolphins win that one.
Dolphins win. Okay.
Patriots just don't have a good quarterback.
And then Chargers beat the Raiders.
Yeah, I'll give the Chargers that one. Okay. Although,
right,
boy, I don't know if I had to bet that game. I don't know what to do.
So first of all, the Tennessee Titans get the 1 seed just on the basis of beating the Texans. That is locked. The Chiefs are your 2 seed. Your 3 seed are the Cincinnati Bengals. Buffalo Bills are your 4 seed. Cincinnati has to lose and Buffalo wins to flip the 3-4. If the Patriots win, they're the 5th seed. If they lose, they're the 6th. Okay. If the Colts win over the Jaguars, they're your 5 in the scenario where the Patriots.
Oh,
no, I'm not watching.
I'm sorry. I'm listening, but Najee just about killed a man.
Cool. Did you go take it to the house? Is it a 7%?
No, but he got her butt down to midfield there.
So Greedy Williams. He just embarrassed Greedy Williams. Yeah. So your matchups here, 2-7 is KC, LAC. Yep. So KC Chargers in your 2-7 would be fun as hell. You know what game I really do not want to see? I really do not want to see a 2-7 matchup between the Chiefs and the Raiders. Holy fuck. Do not give us that.
I do. Give me,
my God.
Let me lay 14 with that. I will.
Do not want that. Chiefs. It's going to be Chiefs Chargers in the 2-7.
Okay. I love that.
It's going to be Bengals Patriots in the 3-6.
I kind of love that too. Let's see a really good, fun young offense against a tough D.
And it's going to be Buffalo Indy in your 4-5. Buffalo Indy in your 4-5.
I don't hate that, even though that I feel like we've seen that game a bunch of times in the previous years.
Mm-hmm. Now we have. It was last year's playoffs. This year, Indy embarrassed Buffalo. If Patriots beat the Dolphins, that flip flops, and our 4-5 is Buffalo New England. Our 3-6 is Cincy Indy. Cincy Indy, basically, Indy is going to make for a good wild card game no matter who they face. New England is going to make for a tough watch no matter who they face.
We talked about this a little off air, Sam. If the Colts were to somehow magically lose, there'd be a weird a situation where they could do just kneel on it.
Yeah,
I don't think that would actually happen.
That happening, yeah.
I don't put it that high. And NFC seems a little more dialed in.
Okay. So tell me some of these. I only need actually.
Packers game doesn't
I only
matter.
need one. I only need one outcome from you for this one.
Yep.
Rams Niners. Who wins?
Niners.
Okay. So your seeds are the Green Bay Packers, number 1. Your 2-7 matchup is Tampa Philly. Your 3-6 matchup is Arizona San Francisco. Yeah. Arizona steals the division.
At the final hour, thanks to, and then they're forced to take on their heroes.
That's right. And then the 4-5 is Dallas, LA. Dallas versus the Rams. Cowboys, Rams.
And love any of those games.
No, although that's the best possible outcome, because if the Rams win, this is how bad things get. You ready for this? If the Rams beat the Niners, the Green Bay Packers are your 1 seed.
Rams, Philly.
The Rams are your 2 seed. They host the Saints.
Oh yeah, the Saints.
The Bucks are your 3 seed. They host the Eagles, and then Dallas, Arizona, which the
Saints would still have to win. Saints still have to win their game to make that happen.
Yeah, they're pretty meaningful favorites against the Falcons. You think the Falcons can play spoiler? Really?
That would be so funny. Pitts goes for like 350. Just absolute Kellen Winslow senior game where they're carrying him off the field at the end. Big Ben does want to hit a long ball so bad today.
Is it going to happen? I don't think so.
He had a free play there and he threw a pick, but I mean, he threw into pretty rough double coverage. He is up to probably 45 pass attempts now, and who knows? I suppose they wiped that last one off the board.
The Packers are 100% locked into the 1 seed, huh?
Okay. Yes,
no.
But again, LaFleur has said
yep.
he doesn't want to rest everyone, so I'm probably
we're gonna get a half. We're gonna get first half out of them.
Get like
so play Green Bay. Green Bay first. So is Green? You want to? They're gonna be first half. Green Bay is gonna be like -4.5, and then full game they're gonna be like -3.
It's gonna be like a preseason game where the first half line is bigger than the full game. I love that.
That is just delightful.
And then
that is delightful.
If there's even a whiff of the starters coming out, where you play the Lions against Jordan Love, it's the Lions, right? Packers Lions.
Yeah, Packers Lions. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, probably no Devontae Adams for Jordan Love though.
I would assume he'd have to go a little further down the depth chart.
The MVP is not on the line, in my opinion. Rodgers is the MVP. There's really nothing anyone can do right now because Rodgers has not played his way out of the lead spot. Really, he was going to have to have a colossal fuck up to take him out of the race, and he did not. So it is, he's got this unbelievable touchdown interception ratio thing going, which the voters just cream themselves over. Playing
against some bad defenses here and there, but he's made them look even worse than they are. So congrats to him. And I think that one's probably locked up.
Yep. I think so too.
And there's Green Bay steam.
Well, that was probably on the basis of that info. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So the playoff picture is actually way more stable than I thought.
It is pretty. That's what I'm saying. It stinks that there's not that many games that are super meaningful. I mean, there's 6 that have playoff implications, but none of them feel like, oh, this is big.
Ooh, you know what, Andy? I got to take a big old step backward. If the Raiders pull off the impossible and beat the Chargers, and the Colts and Patriots also win, which we think is probably likely.
Oh yeah.
Raiders get the 6 seed, and it would be Bengals Raiders in the 3-6, and the 2-7 would be KC Indy. And I think for everyone who really wants to see the Chiefs take it on the chin in a very difficult head-to-head, I think you want that 2-7 Chiefs Indy, don't you?
What is your line? Raiders going to the jungle.
KC -6.
No. Chiefs. Cincy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Cincy -6. Cincy -6. Sorry.
I was going to say 7. I'd have to look what I have.
Yeah. Cincy -6. Yeah. Probably. I mean, it's Burrow's first ever playoff start. Derek Carr has won. He took the team to the playoffs, but then he got hurt, and his replacement got the playoff start. So maybe
it's hard to bet.
Derek Carr has not started a playoff game.
Yeah, first time playoff starters, hard to bet on. But Christ, would I have trouble betting on Carr there?
Yeah. Hey, really quick. Carr's career postseason is no. There's no postseason. He is not.
I was going to say you might be thinking of David Carr.
No, Derek Carr's Raiders
Mariota
went to the playoffs in 2016. Derek Carr was 12-3 as a starter, and he got hurt in the second last game of the season. The Raiders qualified as a wild card that year.
It was somebody goofy, somebody who played in the AAF.
Connor Cook.
I just brought this up.
Started the playoff game against the Texans.
Connor Cook has started a NFL playoff game and a college football playoff game. Of all the men in the world to do both,
amazing.
Connor Cook's names are in their record books because he was on that team, that Michigan State team. That holy shit, that was back when it was 2 years in a row the Big Ten didn't score in the semifinals. It was 30-0, 38-0 or something horrid.
All right, Andy, great news. Ben did his job. He got us 3. Now we just need TJ Watt. Now we just need TJ Watt to do his job. Go TJ Watt, go score a touchdown. Get this team total over for us.
Yeah, let's go. All right.
All right. So playoffs are more stable. Playoffs are more stable than I realized. There's potential for some wild, interesting, good matchups in the AFC. And really, I think we all are cheering for the Niners to beat the Rams, upset the Rams.
Dan's just being mean, but yeah, Jamar Chase will have a playoff game and a CFP. along with Mr. Burrow,
Mm.
who somebody brought up his ankle. He looked okay after the game when he was, dancing around the locker room. But that's
all
the
I know
thing
is
too,
that
like,
if this
you
all
might
plays
wanna-
out, you all better be very, very, very hopeful that Jamar Chase does not have an embarrassing drop in the Bengals game.
Why? What are you gonna go to their houses?
No, I'm just going to bring it up and grab that clip and
You
repost
will
it
be.
for the
You will.
entirety of award season. This guy's your offensive rookie of the year. This guy dropping this easy, the most meaningful pass of the game. Yeah, no, it's still so much more important to be the quarterback and have the ball in your hands on every freaking snap. And what Mac Jones did this year, getting this Patriots team to the playoffs, is not being recognized. And I'm being sincere. I'm not even talking my book. I think it is really it's really crazy how the market reacts to recency, because
That's how it works with awards. It's awful. The most glaring of all would be Tom Thibodeau, Coach of the Year. Like, the Knicks were just shit for long enough that we did that. I guess, I don't know.
They were finally not bad, and that was enough to give them the award.
Do you remember when they won that one playoff game and they were dancing in the streets?
Yeah, I do.
Knicks fans needed something.
What is your opinion of the Coach of the Year market, by the way, real quick, in the NFL?
I guess I get the LaFleur. It's a market, so I understand why, or it's an awards market, so I understand why LaFleur is getting love. But the way you frame it preseason, the way we look at it every year, like, the Packers are not overperforming. The Packers are performing about to expectations. They were supposed to be the first or second best team in the NFC. They are. Aaron Rodgers is good, but that's what takes away from the LaFleur argument. And then, I guess, like, give it to Taylor for – it's the same thing as whatever you want to call it with the Browns last year. Like, hey, this team stunk for a long time, and then they went to the playoffs. You got to give it to them. And, yeah, Vrabel not getting the love he deserves for the asinine amount of injuries that Tennessee has suffered, and the fact that he's going to push this team to the 1 seed with his star running back missing most of the year, is both of his receivers missing big chunks of the games, and also the defense, like, kind of coaching that defense into being some semblance of anything this year at times. It's a fun team. I don't know. So I think Vrabel deserves it, but I think Zach Taylor probably gets it. That's how life works.
Do the voters know who Zach Taylor is? All of them.
Well, I mean, you just told me yesterday they're breaking down week by week box scores. I would think they know the coaches if they're doing that. LaFleur does get the female vote. That's fair. He is very handsome.
What would you guess if I told? So one thing about Tennessee that I just want to point out, they had a very fortunate schedule in terms of who they were playing when they were dealing with injuries. The fact that they had kind of had all of their tough head-to-heads were front loaded when they were fully healthy, and then as soon as like they took a couple licks, and then the schedule softened up immensely for them. So there is that element of it. If you're trying to do it as like a true handicap, who was the best coach, right, who elevated the performance the most? Here's a crazy one, because this team's not going to get any consideration for awards. What AFC team played the most difficult schedule this year? And it's not close.
I can tell you who it's not. It's not the Bills.
It's not the Bills, no. Bills had a very easy schedule.
The opposite of the Bills. The Colts was a lopsided schedule. I don't think that was the toughest. It was very tough to start with.
Colts middle of the pack towards the bottom.
I have to look at teams. Like, my brain isn't working right now.
This is not close. Like, this.
Oh, the Chargers.
Well, you're close.
They have to be top 3.
They're up there. Yeah, they're up there.
And you know what? The Chiefs actually played a pretty tough schedule too.
The Chiefs did. Yep, they did. But you know who had to play both the Chargers and the Chiefs twice?
Vic Fangio.
No, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders had the toughest schedule in the AFC by a meaningful margin, on top of losing a coach midseason, on top of losing a wide receiver one.
Are we giving it to Chucky?
I'm just saying that the fact that they're knocking on the door of the playoffs, considering the adversity that they've gone through this year, is kind of insane.
I'm going to the bakery after this to get some of this deliciousness. I think Dan's spelling it wrong on purpose. Focaccia is up there. It's up there. It's like sourdough, focaccia, rye.
Terrible take. Focaccia is not even a top 5 bread.
Ooh,
not a top 5 bread.
This is a guy who doesn't.
Focaccia is not a top 5 bread.
Focaccia is solid.
It's not a top 5 bread.
Sourdough. It's like sourdough and then everything else, though. Actually, rye is pretty high for me.
Focaccia is the only clear winner it is in the head-to-head bread is against ciabatta. Ciabatta is pretty weak sauce.
How do you feel about challah?
Chala's good, but it's not really
somebody
bread.
said
It's not
challah.
an all-purpose. It's not an all-purpose bread, really. Like, it has a specific function.
So, and I won't out this man, but he kind of did it himself. But our friend from the tennis chat, who happens to be of Indian descent, he helped me out ordering some Indian food a month ago. Mm-hmm. And it's not naan, it's a different kind of bread, and it's got this sweet spell to it. I got to look up what it was. Shit was amazing. He's like, I honestly just sent him the link to the menu from Uber Eats for my Indian restaurant and said, pick me out something to eat. And he just like that snapback. He's like, get this right now. And I can't remember what it was, but fuck, it was good. It just comes with a shitload of lentils and some sauce, and you break it off and dip it. If
savory or sweet? What did you say?
It was a little savory. It was not naan, and I like naan. It was not roti. I know roti.
Batura. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Gav hit it. Batura with it was kind of spicy as Indian food often is. Very good. Cool. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rethink it's a fry bread. We're introducing tortillas. We're introducing fry breads from around the world. I'm gonna have to rethink my bread rankings.
Okay. All right. Well,
Shola Batura. This is what I ordered.
Did Cleveland punt yet?
Is Gav from the subcontinent and just happens to live in Australia? I never remember his backstory.
That sounds familiar, actually.
Maybe Sri Lanka. I don't know. Now he's gonna get mad at me now. I called him Sri Lankan.
Oh man, Dan threw it out to the people. Is focaccia a top 5 bread? So far, no is winning.
Wow.
Nope.
I like the chewiness.
I mean, the chewiness is fine, but it just doesn't have enough applications. And if you really want a good focaccia, you got to put like caramelized onions or rosemary. You got to really like add to it to make it a good focaccia, right? It doesn't do great standing on its own.
Flautas. What's the Mexican sandwich thing?
A flauta.
Flauta.
Sure.
That's
or torta. A torta.
A torta. Yeah. Whatever bread that is, I like that bread too.
Okay, that is a good
big
one.
bread guy. Man cannot live on bread alone. And yes, my wife requested biscuits and gravy over the holiday. I was made some. And with that, we're gonna let Dan.
Jolotti's got a good point. Tuesdays are for running your bread numbers. That's true. Power ranking breads. We'll tune in on if we power rank breads, it might be a more interesting show than breaking down the Week 18 card on Wednesday.
The Steelers have 95 yards to go here for pay dirt. They're going to kick 2 field goals, I feel like.
Hey, and you know what? Ben is due to hit the bomb. He is so due for a bomb.
I'm logging into all my burners and voting yes on this, by the way.
Did Najee Harris, did he make his rushing attempt prop? I think he just did. Is that number 18 for him?
Yeah. This is a good take. Colorado does have great Mexican food. Breakfast burritos there everywhere are so good. San Diego also, which, I mean, obviously it's right next to the border. But man,
I can't believe you.
San Diego did not disappoint.
The results of this vote in your favor. Absolutely shameless.
Dan's over here. We're not ranking Madonna songs, Dan.
La Isla Bonita.
La Isla Bonita. And honestly, if we're ranking Madonna songs, Like a Prayer, number 1.
I don't think anyone disagrees with that. Your Bulls barely held on, man.
I know that did not get my live bet home.
Oh,
I needed like 6.
Oh, you were close.
You know what? They won. They won. That's all we need. Keep winning.
Ben sacked. All right. Let's call it.
Let's call it a day. Is that a
right.
No? They give him forward progress.
We want the Browns to have the ball in offense, so TJ Watt gets his touchdown.
Borderline's top 3. You're not wrong, Mikhail.
Yeah.
Dan's doing thing where
let's wrap it up. Wrap it up, B.
We've been trying for 20 minutes. See you guys.